So in today's weekly Wednesday Jinx video, and really quick for those that don't know, every Wednesday we do a Jinx video, whether it's about her lore, a certain build, a matchup, things like that. And in today's video, we're going to actually be doing a matchup video, in which case we're going to be talking about her matchup with Caitlyn. But really quick before that, I want to explain the way the topic is usually chosen is based off of the comments in the YouTube video or now on the Reddit thread, in which case people will comment what do they want to see talked about for next week's video, as well as then we also discuss the topic of the previous video. But I said to say, some people want me to talk about Warwick's lore because the girl in Warwick's lore, some people are saying, could possibly be pre-insane Jinx. But because August Browning, and which if that name sounds familiar, he designed Jinx's kit, he's talked to the person that is doing Jinx's lore and has confirmed there is Jinx lore coming her own story. I'm going to take that Warwick idea and then fuse it with the Jinx story idea for another video. So I'm not ignoring you guys, I'm just going to combine that in a different video since that story is still on the way. Now with that said, talking about the Caitlyn matchup, I'm going to start with my own, a few things that I do that aren't necessarily fantastic, because I will admit I'm bad at this game. But this is just to get the conversation started, in which case you guys can maybe have talking points if you don't have them, and otherwise we can discuss this matchup more heavily in the comment section below, both on the YouTube video and on the Reddit thread. This will be going as a weekly kind of discussion thread for Jinx, and today is going to be a matchup with Caitlyn. Now that I've wasted so much time, let's get on with that matchup itself. And from my standpoint, my experience, it comes in one of two ways. If you're winning against Caitlyn and if you're losing against Caitlyn. And I'll start with losing against Caitlyn because one of the best things about Jinx, in my opinion, is her rocket launcher will gain range as you level up. So even though Caitlyn can bully you quite a bit with the amount of range she has, your range will get to a point where you can harass her back by level 9. So then the trick is to not get completely poked out of lane before you can start trading back with her. One of the biggest issues I see when it comes to the Caitlyn matchup is her traps. She can use those traps to wall off the entire jungle, making it hard for your jungler to gank from different areas, especially the river. If she walls off the river, wards that one brush, and then keeps the tri-bush warded, and you're getting pushed in, it's going to be very hard for your jungler to come down and make a play. Now, in my experience, one of the best counters around this, especially with Jinx, is to use the rocket launcher to safely CS from a distance, maybe even try and break a freeze if they froze it close to your lane, but that's bad, and try maybe push the wave back towards the center of the lane. So that way your jungler can actually sneak into the first brush on your side, if you're on blue side or red side, for example, by just coming straight up down the lane. But because you push them out, and because it shouldn't be warded, hopefully, if it is warded, maybe see if you get a sweeper or your own ward in there to clear it, you can get your jungler in that brush and then gank them, maybe surprise from there. So that way, if the river's warded off by wards and traps, and the tri-bush is, that might be an easier way to get ganks going. It takes a lot more time and effort, sure, but that's usually what I do or try to do to counter that tactic, as well as using the range of Jinx's Fishbone's rocket launcher to harass her back. Now, if you're winning against Caitlyn, one of the things that I think is the most difficult is making sure just to safely CS under tower still, because again, she's going to start using the traps to probably try and wall you off from your own minions to maybe even freeze it under her tower to get back in the game. So you have to break that freeze, but you might not be super safe to stand on those traps, especially if she has a hard engaged support like a Blitzcrank or a Thresh, right? Hopefully maybe your support can step on those traps because you bully them back long enough that she can't actually abuse the extra, auto attack range. But if you can't, try and work around those traps and just use, I don't really want to say use Zap even, because her mana pool is one of the lowest to start the games off with. She gets higher mana regeneration the later the game goes, so she can stay in rocket form, sure, but use Zap if you need to use Zap to CS. Let me just put it that way. I would recommend using it for harass, but if you need to use it to CS, just make sure you keep up the CS when you push her under tower, because now you've put Caitlyn in a position where she might not be useful in lane, and as such, she might also not be useful in the mid game, in which case you'll have the advantage. These are just my talking points to get you guys started, maybe if you don't have any, but by all means, you probably have better ideas that you can talk about in the comment section below and discuss about down below about this matchup with Caitlyn. This is pretty much just to get the conversation started and make a thread post about it, and then we can go more in depth in the comment section below about the matchup with Caitlyn. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video if you did watch this far. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, but make sure to comment so that way we can talk about both this topic and also get an idea of what we want to talk about for next Wednesday's video. So I don't know which video will be next because life can be quite a mess. So until next time, take care from the Fire Good Eye FS.